Thanks for joining us for another special edition of Litter Media Live here on Litter Media Radio, as well on our Facebook channel. And those of you watching on YouTube, we appreciate that too. Look at these wonderful gentlemen we have in studio with us today. We have members of the Chillicothe Cavaliers talking football. Details coming up after this from Tomlinson Insurance Agency.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When insuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Back to you. All right, as we're in studio today, you can tell we've got an expanded shot because we've got big guys in here today. Leading the way is Nate Scissum.
Hi.
Yeah, there we go. Also, we've got Truitt McGlone. And you can say hi if you like.
Oh, hello.
Also, Jett McAllister.
Hi.
Connor Bolen.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. And I've taken too many hits on the sideline. And Coach TJ Carper, good to have you guys here.
Yeah, it's great to be here. I appreciate you having us on today.
Sure thing. I appreciate you making time out of your busy schedule. And I'm sure you guys have not been to the Ross County Fair because you've been to workouts, right?
Yeah. I try.
Well, you have to go out for the Cavalier days, I'm sure.
Right.
Do something there. Yeah. And you can't keep them from the fair, can you, Coach?
You can't. They got to go and get all the
you can't keep me from sleep.
They just got to bring me one back.
Yeah, get out and make good decisions.
Yep.
And part of the good decisions are bringing a funnel cake or something back to Coach.
Fried cheese. Love fried cheese.
I don't be at fairs for food.
Is that right?
Drinks always.
You're lying.
Always.
Dude,
That's hard to believe.
You're a liar.
Shaking lemonade. Is that
the shaking lemonades is the greatest item
He's a
in fair
lemonade
history.
man. So keep that in mind. We'll be seeing him suck on that lemonade on the side. Tell us, first of all, what positions you play. These are all co-captains of the Cavaliers for 2025. So we'll start over here.
I play left guard and linebacker. And kicker.
And kicker.
And kicker, yeah.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
I play linebacker and running back.
I play middle linebacker and center.
I'm a nose guard and I'm an ex-offensive guard.
Why do we say ex-offensive guard? Have you gone to tackle or something?
No, I'm just a nose guard now.
Just a nose guard.
Just a nose guard.
He got fired.
So, but you're still at that guard position, right? Yeah, if you're a nose guard, you're going right at it. Right
Going
in the
right
midst of
at it.
things. Yeah. The old coaches used to call it middle guard.
Yeah.
These two, Truitt and Connor, causes me most problems.
Is that right?
No, that's not right. But
So you should be causing trouble for them.
oh no, I do.
Oh, yeah.
No, but they're just in my way. This one.
You're the man that's hungry after that quarterback.
I'm hungry after everyone with the ball.
There you go.
Running backs and quarterbacks.
With a shaken lemonade.
With a yes.
Coach, fill us in on how things have gone. You had a couple of 7-on-7s already.
Yeah.
Of course, August 1st, we jumped right into preparing for the season.
Yeah, man. It's been great. It's been a really good off season. I think the kids have bought into what we're trying to accomplish there and just the message that we're preaching to them, man. Just this summer, getting started in June with workouts, we set a goal for, I think, 80% of attendance. Get there and just be accountable and be committed. We hit that going into workouts in June, and then July just rolling right into 7-on-7s and learning the plays and just learning how to practice and learning how to be a team, it's been really good for us. So, and I'm just excited for all these kids, especially these guys right here. These are player-led kids. They want to lead. They want to lead by example. They want to lead, by just doing things the right way. And our team voted for them. So it's not like, we as coaches, me as a coach said, hey, this is what you're going to be. No, their peers got these guys, voted for these guys. So, it just goes to commend, the kind of people that these 4 kids are, for their peers. So, whenever you got guys that are buying into what you want the program to be like, you have to put it back on them. To lead and take accountability for every action, not only for, themselves, but as a team as well, too. So I think that these guys embody what we want our team to be. And, it's just been it's been a fun summer for me.
Now, out of the four of you, I know, Jett, your dad played at CHS. He's a Hall of Famer, not for football, but for shot put and discus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But outside of that, you've got that history behind you. You're hearing of your dad, so on and so forth. What about Truitt and Connor and Nate? Have you guys all had a Chillicothe history upbringing?
My dad grew up in Chillicothe, but he didn't really play sports in high school. I know he played soccer for a while, but he never really liked football. I mean, he likes it now that I'm playing, but he never liked it growing up.
You want to go?
I transferred to Chillicothe my freshman year, and just being on that team my freshman year, the 2022 team, I always loved football, and then, I was a little nervous for high school football, but just watching them, there were some great players on that team, and so I kind of bought in right there, and I knew that I was going to do everything to get out on that field and play for Chillicothe, because, I was a little skeptical at first. You move schools, sure. You got old friends, and so as soon as we went out there, and I think we beat London like week 2, and the whole sideline was jumping, and I was a little skinny freshman, and I was like, this is where I want to be, and that's where I'm trying to get to now for my last year.
Yeah. Looks pretty good in blue and white. You like that?
So
and you, sir?
I came to Chillicothe in 5th grade, and then I never played a sport for like 4, maybe 5 years until I hit middle school, and football was just everything. Like I never had a year off, besides freshman year. Yeah. But yeah, so after that, sophomore year is a year that I will never forget, because I had people like obstacles, not people, obstacles, like Cole Crawford.
He was an obstacle. But you found yourself onto the defense now, or you put your hand in the dirt and just go at it.
And I'm so comfortable with that.
Yeah, we like that.
Yes,
and you want them chomping at the bit on defense.
Yeah, chomping at the bit. I want them on edge. We talk about those things like, I want you on edge without going too far. And I want you to be competitors. It's a dogfight. Who's going to come out on top? So I want them on edge. I want them to understand that it's football. It's a physical sport, and and you can't play it soft. So these guys, they compete every day. There's some attitudes that get thrown around that flare up in practice. When one person is dominating the other, but I love it, and they're a family. So at the end of the day, they shake it up. They go in the locker room. And when they leave, they're cool, So I think Truitt sent me a picture the other day, like they were out eating at McDonald's, just hanging out together and stuff. So it's a tight knit group. It really is.
That's highly important.
Yeah.
If you want to have success, and when we talk success, we can talk wins and losses, but seeing these guys become men, and brothers, and working together. I've seen the most successful units are ones who stick together.
Most definitely.
And it's good to hear that that's already starting to fall into play.
It's been great.
Yeah. Some of these guys you may have seen before, other than see them at the grocery store or whatever, at a gas station, but they're media guys as well. You were telling me you've got some podcasts.
Yes.
We do get, they and me have a podcast.
That's a podcast in itself, they and me.
Yeah.
They and me.
Maybe a future thing. Tell us about your podcast. How did you get involved in doing that?
I took Miss George's video production class my sophomore year, and I was like, this is a lot of fun, like making videos, and they weren't in the class yet, and so we ended up getting put into audio broadcasting our junior year, and I told them to transfer into my class, and so we were going through.
You told them to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, they. So when you apply to take video production, there's different branches of the media, and so I got put in audio broadcasting for like 5th period, and then obviously they got put into different periods, and so I said we can all be together, and so we can make videos together. And so they got transferred in to audio broadcasting with me, and we were going through AI, just trying to find funny names, and then we found one that said ketchup with the boys, and me and Jett just like instantly started laughing, and that's just kind of how we are. Like, I think that's just how we've been. We just laugh a lot, like just
Like a
us
lot,
three.
a lot, yeah.
Like, that's just what we do. We tell jokes and laugh, and so I thought we were pretty funny, but that just might be my personal bias. But we ended up we made them, especially during football season. It just gave us something to do. We would record on Fridays, and we would have our jerseys on, and we would just talk and just have fun. And then it kind of slowed down a little bit. The things got busy, but no, it's definitely awesome. And Miss George is a great teacher, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about it? You're
I
kind of
had
quiet on it right now.
Well, it was real fun. Just getting started, just being able to make media for the school, kind of like being able to just put out content that everybody could like give us feedback for was great. I thought that was really fun. I thought it was fun, like uploading a video and then coming back and people talking about it. And then we have a friend from Pickaway Ross. He's like number one fan, Landon Day, and he would like rank our episodes. That was always fun, just being able to get the feedback from everybody, just from everybody in the class and the school, whatever. Because I mean, it got some traction, honestly. I think most of the school watched it, and it also got broadcasted on like some radio, so you could like watch it at home.
Yeah, Miss George shouted it out on the radio, but we were pulling in like 150 to 200 views for like a podcast.
Yeah.
And we had a camera and everything, and we would, sometimes we had a Halloween episode where we had costumes on. I think I was Princess Peach, and our friend Milton Beverly, who's also on the team, he was Mario, and then they were like Santa Claus and the elves, and it was just it's a good time, and I think more schools should provide that media. And because I think it's a great tool too, just learn to record and edit and everything. I love it.
It can lead to a career.
Yeah.
I'm proof of that. I took it in my junior year, and we just had a lot of fun because Saturday Night Live was just beginning about that time.
Oh, nice.
So
Chevy Chase.
doing skits and everything was fun.
Yeah.
And so it's now 40 plus years later, it's emulated the same thing, still at a different level, just on the digital side.
Yeah.
And you're Mr. Sound Man a time or two, right?
Yeah.
With the bleeper?
I definitely am.
Yeah.
So, wait, am I supposed to be talking about my
Tell me about your podcast.
So, well, I'm not.
Hang on, you gotta start with the name. You gotta start with the name of your podcast.
5 freaky, fantastic, fun Friday nights at Freddy Fazbear's where fantasy and fun comes to life. I didn't create that. It was an idea from Solomon, who pulled in me and Marcellus from Mr. Cisco's class. So we was like, you know what? We's gonna make a podcast because we was also in audio production, and he was like, so what's our name gonna be? And Solomon just thought of, what was the game called again? Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
So we was like, okay, I like that, but it needs more F's. So he was like, well, 5 freaky, fun, fantastic Friday nights at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria where fantasy and
Well,
fun comes
if
to
you
life.
think about it, like, so we have 5 home football games, guaranteed 5 home
That is
football
true.
games. So you can kind of
5 nights.
So,
5 nights at
Freddy's
but
5 Friday nights
at Nate's.
at the O.
and
New podcast.
it was like the podcast content was it was a little bit of sports. Like it was like 1% sports, 96% would you rather's, and then like
What's the 3%?
the rest of the 3% was like Q&As that we had for each other. We wasn't reading off anybody questions. We was just like asking each other about what we like.
Usually when you get into the Q&As and if you keep it on a 3% level, chances are you're not going to get in much trouble.
Yeah.
And no, that was my idea because I knew Solomon and Marcellus. I was not going to answer too much questions.
So the gist of this is these guys are more than football players, you know. So you've got well-rounded personalities and opportunity. I'm sure, Connor, it's pretty cool walking the halls and somebody says, "Hey, I saw you on Facebook or whatever the other day, or TikTok or what? What are your base
YouTube
platforms? That
Yeah,
you use?
YouTube, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And of course, the guy at this end over here, he has been all over digital this summer as well.
Most
And,
definitely.
are you producing a lot of the stuff that we see?
Yeah, I do a lot of it. Like I do a lot of like the graphics and stuff you see on our Facebook page, on our Instagram page. We also have an X account as well too. You know, that's our X account is mostly for colleges and college coaches. You know, they follow. I got a lot of college coaches that follow us, and I just kind of put out videos of the kids working out, highlights and things like that, and just tweeting those coaches and promoting all of our kids. You know, so that's important to me is promoting our kids, promoting our program, getting others to see, you know, what we're doing and taking us through the process. You know, I've came to know over the past, you know, nobody's gonna work harder for your kids except for you. You know what I mean? And you can ask guys to do this or to do that, and it slips their mind sometimes. You know, so it's better to just go out and do it on your own. You know, so I spend a lot of time trying to get things together for them to, you know, for people to see. You know, for people to see the program, and I'm very transparent with our program. You know, I want everybody to see, you know, what these guys are going through every day. I want them to see the hard work that they're putting in. I want them to see, you know, what they have accomplished, you know, and the things that we do out in the community. You know, it's super important, you know, and not only because, you know, we're trying to push our program out there, but just because we want support, you know what I mean? And we want to show that we are here to support others, you know, and I'm just a firm believer in that. You know, you never know if you don't see it. Right. You know, if it's not in front of you, you never know what's going on. Yeah. So
I know one of the things that coaches are supposed to do are to train the kids up as best they can, get them prepared for game night. I've seen, and a lot of coaches do this, but I've seen them prepare them to be men. Yeah. And in so doing, this week you had shared your faith with one of your players. Yeah. Changed his life forever. And of course, we had the unfortunate tragedy that happened this week for the Waverly football program. Paint Valley fans were very locked into Dresden Bolen Hitchens. And you're doing something special that we haven't had final approval on from the OHSAA yet, but we hope to be able to have. We'll show it up on the screen here. This on your helmets this year.
Yeah, so this is a helmet sticker that we're going to hopefully wear, you know, for all of our games this year, you know, in honor of Dres. You know, he was a great guy, great kid, great athlete, great person, you know, and we want to honor him. You know, it's the right thing to do. You know, it's the right thing to do, you know, and it's awful what had happened with him, and we just want to show our support. You know what I mean? Show our support for Waverly, show our support for Paint Valley, but show our support for his family and all of his friends. You know, I didn't know him on a personal level. I met him a couple times, and he always was smiling. You know what I mean? He'd be, hey, Coach Carp, you know, and just, you know, just a kid that, you know, you just would like kind of gravitate to. I think every time I seen him, he was always around 5 or 6 of his teammates, just happy all the time, you know, and a smile. And I know his brother, Trey, kind of well, and you know, and the way that Trey talks about him, you know, I kind of got to know him through Trey, you know, and if you know Trey, he's the same way, and it's you know, it's you know, it's very sad. It's very sad, and you know, I just want everybody to know, you know, his family and, you know, Waverly and Paint Valley, that we're here for you guys, and, you know, whatever that we can do for you, man, you know, just reach out. You know, we're only a phone call away, a message on Facebook away, you know, so we're here to support everyone.
And we'll tell you, and you, of course, have been on teams for a lot. We have these tragedies that happen at times, and to see each other, you forget about the competition, right? And then realize there's more to it. And it makes you have a tighter bond. Yeah, it does. You know, it brings you closer together, and it puts it back into perspective. You know, and as you said, you talk about faith. You know, you never know what is going to happen in your life. You never know what this next second holds. You know, I was witnessing to Nate on the way over. You know, all of this means absolutely nothing if you don't have your life right, you know, with God, you know, and you put it into perspective. And faith is a big thing that we brought into our program, you know, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
and I might get in trouble for saying it, but I don't care. I really don't. And I share my faith daily with these guys. We're starting Bible study today, actually, as a team, for the guys that want to do it, and I'll be leading it. But just witnessing with Nate on the way over, football, you can be great at football. Football is going to be here for a short moment of your life. You're not going to be a football player all of your life, but you can be a man of faith. You can be a man of God the entire time. And you can go on after you leave this earth. You can go on to be somebody that can be great in the eyesight of the Lord. So, our life isn't over when we die. Yeah. It's not if you're right with God. So, I firmly believe that, and I want my guys to believe that.
It wouldn't bother us at all if you ended up with a multi-million-dollar contract of some sort later in life, but you get this taken care of. Yeah. You don't have to worry about multi-million-dollar stuff.
You don't. Yeah. You don't. Nothing else matters.
Absolutely.
Nothing else matters.
That's why we say it's all character building.
Yeah.
And the spiritual part of that is certainly important.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is.
We haven't even touched on your schedule yet. You open up coming up on August 22nd.
Yeah.
And who do you have first?
So first game we have Bloom Carroll. We got the Bulldogs at Bloom Carroll. Always going to be a perennial powerhouse in Division III. They play a lot of players. And they're coming off a season where I think that they were kind of disappointed a little bit in the outcome in the playoffs. So they're going to come in. They're going to be coming in hungry.
Yeah. And you guys were in the game early last year.
Yeah,
just a couple of miscues and
special teams. I think special teams kind of shot ourselves in the foot there, and Carper actually. We were just going through special teams, and he was preaching it like this makes or breaks a football game, and that's exactly what happened. If you take away, I think their returner Bo Sherman, he graduated, but he was a speedy kid, and you take away his 2 punt returns, it's a 10-0 game at halftime. Yeah. So definitely, I think we beat ourselves a little bit in that first half.
And fortunately, Tantanamo is graduated.
Yeah.
So he's no longer a quarterback. You have to try and chase him around anyway.
Right.
For those of you who are wondering, we are using a different microphone for this interview. So there's a train going by right now. We're down on Eastern Avenue. You'll hear the train. But let's motor our way. As the steam rolls going here. Well, what's week 2?
So week 2 we have London. State semifinalist. Physical team, not going to do anything flashy. They're just going to do what they do. They're not worried about anybody. They're worried about London, and that's where I want to be with our program. It's just we're worried about ourselves. We take care of what we can take care of, and take care of ourselves, and nothing else will matter. So you look at those guys, and then like at Jackson as well too. They're not worried about anybody. They're worried about getting better themselves. So that's where I want to be mentally with our team. We're not going to scheme. We're not going to do things that can only win you a couple of games. We want to take care of ourselves and win within the program, and then ultimately you'll see that on the field on Friday nights if we can take care of that first. So we got London. Then week 3 we go to Western Brown comes to us. Yeah.
Western Brown will be here, by the way. We received permission last week. That'll be our Litter Media game of the week.
Awesome.
So we will see you for the home opener.
Awesome.
Which also includes fireworks.
Yes.
From what we understand.
Yes,
so that should be pretty cool. And we want to see those fireworks go off just like
we're gonna run out.
That's the goal, is to run out.
Empty.
Also, that game. So we're doing something a little different this year with some honorary captains. So we'll have a couple sponsors, that we honor.
And old number 11's coming back.
Yeah, Jimmy Skinner. Yeah, a former Herd brother of mine. I never got to play with him, but I've known him through a couple of coaches that I coached with, and just know him just from being a Marshall guy, and he's a great person. He's a great person, great man to be around. Very personable and very charismatic, and is just a leader. Yeah. So I was like, man, I would love for you to come and come back for the home opener. Just to
you might even challenge him in a little powerlifting.
Most definitely. Yeah. So, but he accepted it right on the spot. You know, and he'll come back and we have pregame dinner. He'll speak at our dinner, and then we'll honor him at coin toss, being an honorary captain. So, you know, I'm so happy that he accepted the offer to come back home and to speak. Yeah. So.
Now, of course, the FAC only has 6 members, so you've got midweek or mid-season before you jump into the conference play. But who do you finish up with the first round with?
So the first round of out of conference, we have I think it's Wilmington. So Wilmington is that, I think, the 19th, if I'm not correct. Yeah, the 19th. So Wilmington comes to town. Portsmouth West before that, and then we get into conference play August 26th.
And there's been a change on some of the schedule for the FAC games.
Yeah. So there's been some change. Instead of playing Trace week 9, we actually played them week 6 at Trace, and then Washington at Washington, and then Hillsborough comes to town, McLean comes to town, and then we'll finish off at Jackson at Alumni Stadium on, I think, October 24th, yeah.
And we're hoping that has a lot of meaning to it coming up week 10.
Yes.
But you got to take care of the early stuff first,
We
right?
do. Yep. Yeah. And it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be easy. And, you know, that's one thing I'm trying to let these guys understand is the work that we put in is required of you to put in that work. It doesn't mean that whatever the outcome may not be a win. You know, you're not guaranteed wins ever. But the work that you put in gives you an opportunity and gives you a chance to win. You know, winning is a race. And you can ask anybody, you can ask any team that's been at the top. You know, it's hard to win. It really is. And it's hard to sustain winning, you know, when you're at the top. You know, and and it's just, you got to do the things necessary to get there, and then it becomes easier for you to win. But at the same time, everybody's gunning for you, as Jackson, as London. When you look at those teams on the schedule, it's like, week in and week out, it's like they have to prepare for everybody's Super Bowl. Yeah. You're going to get their best shot. It doesn't matter, how good they are, how bad they have been. They're going to get the best shot. And we want to be that team that we get the best shot from everybody. And hopefully the ball bounces our way.
You do those little things right.
Yeah.
And they all fall into place.
Yeah.
And then when the big things come along, you already got the little stuff taken care of.
Exactly. That's funny you said that, because we were just talking about that yesterday. It's the little things. The little things make the big things. You look back and if there's any issues that you probably ever had in your life, it started with a little tiny problem that could have been resolved.
Every sweater that unravels is a little thread.
Yes.
It's how it all starts, it seems. But you got to take care of those issues. I know we have to wrap up because you guys have other things to do today. You got to get to the fair, right? Yeah, they got to go out and buy animals. But we want to make sure people are aware that you've got a lot of stuff going on. So follow your Facebook page, your X page as well. Do you have any themes that you're using this year? I mean, we've had swag before and all stands for something. Do you have something like that this year to lean on?
Well,
here we go.
Yeah. Actually, we do.
And what is it? 5
freaky fun Friday nights. Piece of breed, more fantasy and fun comes to life.
That's funny.
Which has not completely been adopted by the football.
No. I think our theme right now has been ride or die. We want to have a ride or die mentality. We want to go all out. We want to be those guys that it doesn't matter, what we do in life. We want to be excited. We want to go and attack it, 100%. And if we fail, we fail. And that's what ride or die means. Is going after it, going and getting it, and doing everything that you can by any means necessary to get to where you need to be. And for each other. So I think we've adopted that mentality, and I'm just excited to kind of see it coming forward this season.
I have a feeling that Coach Carper is one of those that, and probably has coaches around him that says, give me what you got, and then dig a little deeper and give me some more.
Yeah, definitely.
His final words, Connor?
I'm really excited for the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
Sure. Jett?
I would say that, with being excited for the season, I think this offseason I feel like it's been a lot different than any other offseason I've had throughout high school. I feel like we're working a lot harder. I feel like I'm more knowledgeable. With myself, I'm more knowledgeable with the playbook, anything like that. I'm more knowledgeable about our schemes, all that things. I'm more educated. I think we got some studs, too. We have some studs on our team, and I think that if we really piece it together, we can have a lot of success. A lot of success.
Kind of piggybacking off Jett, this offseason, I've really pushed myself past limits. Shout out our offense coordinator, Coach Belt. He's really been digging into me, but I think this is the fastest team that I've been a part of. We're moving, we're getting stuff done, and me and Jett, very similar situations. I've started 19 games for Chillicothe, and I've won 3, and so you got to think about it like, we're putting the time in. We're trying to change the culture, especially as seniors now, and I'm hoping that we're very successful, and I think we'll be successful. So come out, got 5 home games, gonna be fireworks, gonna be a lot of touchdowns.
And as a center, it all starts with him when they got offense. So
Yeah.
we got to keep that in mind too. But as a disruptor,
You know what? I like that. So
The disruptor.
what I like about this season already is like the progression that I've made and the progression I've helped as a contributor to the line and the offense. Because I feel like, the reason why we all go hard is to push ourselves and to push each other more importantly. And I feel like to win, you got to grow up prematurely, Like it's never like, I forgot what I was about to say and then it kicked back. You never know when you're going to have to wake up and just like go all out, and better do it sooner than later.
right?
Yeah. So that's
Don't
why.
let that opportunity pass you by.
Yeah. So whenever I see triple teams or double teams, that's when it all clicks to me, and that's when it clicks. I feel like that's when it gets serious is when it clicks for all of us. That's when we have to wake up. Though we may fail, we can always go as hard as we can.
Yeah.
If
Every
they're
time.
triple teaming you, math tells me that there's some others that
Yeah.
can make the play.
Yeah.
I'll say a disruptor.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
in.
thank you.
for
We
having
look
us.
forward to seeing you this year. And
Yes, sir.
August 22nd is the big day. Now, August 11th, is that when you're having a community day?
Yeah, so August 11th, we're going to have Community Day at CIS. Talk about fireworks and things like that, and some things that we have coming up in the season that we like to do. Definitely like to start a community tailgate on Thursdays before the home games.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that as well, and just get everybody together and get excited for the season.
Very good. And again, that's next Tuesday, and starts at what time again?
At 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock in
Yep.
the Chillicothe Intermediate School gymnasium cafeteria. That area. Guys, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as I always say, go Cavs. Thank
Go
you so
Cavs.
much for watching here today. And thanks also to Tomlinson Insurance Agency for sponsoring today's program here on Litter Media Live.